Awesome. So welcome to this training, okay? The topic that we're going to be diving into today is the 3 key components of your business ecosystem. I want to really break this down and share this with you guys because these 3 components are what built me from 0 to 10K cash months, then from 10K to 20K cash months in my business, okay? So I want to hand this knowledge over to you guys, and really like the intention of this training is for you to be able to self-assess and see which elements of these 3 components are currently missing in your business strategy, so you know what you need to be focusing on in order to see a shift in your results, okay? So let's dive into this. Now, first and foremost, I want to address what is a business ecosystem, okay? I like to use the phrase business ecosystem because when you think about what an ecosystem is, the definition of an ecosystem is a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment, right? So you've probably heard of that definition before. Maybe it was in high school when you were studying geography or just science, biology, right? We all have an awareness of what an ecosystem is. I mean, nature is a massive ecosystem that we all live within. Now, another way of defining an ecosystem, which is its general use, that is a complex network or interconnected system, okay? So it's that part of the definition that I really want to be looking a little bit deeper at. Now, much like the way nature's ecosystems work, your business ecosystem is a complex network or interconnected system of many parts working together to make a whole, okay? So when you think about, your business, it's not just one system on its own, it's all of these different components that have been brought together and are working with each other as a complex network in order to see the result that you want to see. Now, in order to build your business to consistent 10 or 20K cash months, there are 3 key elements that you must integrate into your ecosystem. Okay. Now, of course, there's more than just 3 elements within our business ecosystems. However, there are 3 key elements that you should be focusing on mastering in order to reach that 10 and then 20K cash month mark. Okay. So what we are going to be doing today is actually breaking down these 3 key elements of the organic marketing ecosystem that I have used within my business and that I teach my students inside of my business academy and my one-to-one program, so that you can actually identify where the gap currently exists for you, okay? So as I said, this is going to be a very self-reflective training. It's going to bring a lot of awareness to the 3 key elements that you need to be focusing on and the different elements that come underneath each as well. This is really going to be like I want you to go through, as we go through each of the points we're going to look at today, I really want you to be ticking, yes, I've got this, or doing a cross and saying, no, I don't have this, right? Because we want to develop that awareness and that clarity around what we have working for us and what we don't currently have working for us. So then from here, you can go and you can start to find the strategies you need to fill those gaps that we're identifying within your business, okay? Who is ready? Ready to rock and roll? Let's go. Let's dive deep into this business ecosystem training. So the very first element of your business ecosystem that we are going to take a look at is your offer and pricing, okay? You cannot be making 10 to 20K cash months without having a solid offer within your business, right? It's common sense. We need to have an offer to sell in order to be able to make money, right? So when it comes to offer and pricing, the very first thing that I want you to look at and to self-assess is, do you know who your ideal client is specifically? Now, this is one of the very first things that I always look at when I'm working with my clients. We always visit their ideal client profile and we break it down into great depth to identify who specifically that person is, where they are right now, and where they desire to be, right? Then what we also look at is the gap. So what is the gap that is stopping them from being at that destination that they desire to be at right now? And so when we have that awareness of who your ideal client is in each of these areas, then we're able to go, okay, cool. How can I now create an offer that's going to be perfectly aligned with this person and provide the solution that they so desperately need? Okay. So yes or no, do you know who your ideal client is specifically? And then the next question I want you to ask is, do you have a clearly crafted core offer built out for your ideal client? Okay. Do you have a clearly crafted core offer built out for your ideal client? Maybe you have a low ticket offer at the moment. Maybe you have a high ticket offer built out at the moment. But I want you to really ask yourself, how intentional have you been in the creation of that offer? You know, how aligned is that offer with what your ideal client needs? What is the demand behind this offer, right? That's something that's really important to look at when you are creating your offer, is actually seeing, is there a demand for what I am creating here? I see this too often. Coaches and business owners, service providers coming into the space, building out these offers, but not actually having done the proper research in order to determine the demand for what they're delivering. And then they wonder, like, I've got this incredible offer. Why is no one buying it? You can have an incredible offer, but if that offer isn't clearly crafted to your ideal client's current needs and what they demand now, then it's still not going to sell, okay? And it's really important that you do follow set frameworks when crafting your core offer to ensure that you're actually going to be able to deliver the desired transformation to your ideal client, okay? So yes or no, do you have a clearly crafted core offer built out for your ideal client? Now, the next element we're going to look at in your offer and pricing is, does your pricing structure make sense for sustainable income growth? Now, a big mistake that I see happen here all the time with new entrepreneurs is them undervaluing or underpricing their services because their limiting beliefs are telling them that no one's going to pay for this, right? If you're trying to build a business to have and hold consistent 10 to 20K cash months, you need to make sure that your pricing structure makes sense for that goal, okay? If you're wasting your time selling programs that are $40 a week or that are $200 a month, that's not sustainable for your income growth. Right? Why? Because you can only spread yourself so thin, which means that there is going to be a cap at a certain point for how much further you can scale your income. So it's really important that when you are wanting to build those 10 to 20K cash months, your pricing structure makes sense for sustainable income growth. If you have a very large audience of people and it's a high volume of people who are wanting to buy from you actively, then it would make a little bit more sense if you were working with lower ticket numbers. But generally, when you're starting out in this space, you've got a fresh audience, it's small, it's growing. And so you want to be working with higher ticket numbers so that we can actually be building that sustainable income quickly into your business. We want to get that cash flow coming in and that recurring revenue stacking, okay? So that's something else when it comes to your pricing structure is the way your offers are priced set up to create recurring revenue in your business, okay? Now, the next part of offer and pricing I want you to answer yes or no to is the simple question of, do you like your offer and are you charging your desired price? Okay, that first part, it's so important that you actually like your offer because this is your business you're building. You need to show up for this and you need to serve your clients, right? So if you don't like the offer that you're actually delivering, then you're not going to want to show up for it. You're not going to feel energized in service of your clients. And so it's important that you actually feel aligned with what it is you're offering and you actually feel good delivering it, right? And on the second half of that question, are you charging your desired price? Now, often, what I see new business owners doing is they're thinking inside of other people's wallets. So maybe they desire to be charging $1,000 a month for their service. However, because their mindset is stuck inside of their prospect's wallet, they're going, oh, but my prospects aren't going to be able to pay $1,000 a month. So I'm just going to set my prices at $250 a month. We don't want to be lowering our prices because we are thinking inside of other people's wallets. There's always going to be someone who is willing to invest the price that you are asking. In fact, I literally saw something this morning where I'm a big Iron Man fan. That's like one of my favorite Marvel superheroes of all time. Robert Downey Jr., who plays Tony Stark, who is Iron Man, actually got paid like $10 million for his 8-minute appearance in Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm pretty sure it's Spider-Man Homecoming, the Tom Holland Spider-Man series. So have a think about that, right? Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. got paid $10 million for an 8-minute appearance. There is always someone who is going to be willing to pay the price that you desire. So this is why it's important that when you're pricing yourself based off what you desire to be paid, not from thinking inside of other people's wallets, okay? And if you feel like, you want to be charging $1,000 a month for your service, but you feel like maybe the value of it isn't quite there yet, there are ways to actually increase the value as well so that you don't need to decrease your price, okay? So yes or no to that question. Do you like your offer and are you charging your desired price? Okay, 2 parts there. Now, the final thing we're going to look at when it comes to offer and pricing is this. Is your offer actually selling and do you have your desired number of clients in it? This is a really important question to ask yourself because if your offer isn't actually selling, then that could be a big indication that there's not a demand for this offer that you've created. And we actually have to go back a couple steps to refine and recraft the offer that you've built out so it is aligned with your ideal client. Now, the second part of this question was, do you have your desired number of clients in the program? And I can imagine that a lot of you who are watching this right now are going to say no, okay? I can assume that if you're making less than 10K months at the moment in your business, you don't have the desired or close to the desired number of people inside of your programs right now. Otherwise, you would have a higher cash coming into your business each month, right? So this is where we start to then have to revisit and ask, okay, is the gap inside of our offer and our pricing structure, or does this now transfer over into being a gap into some of the next few elements, which is really looking at marketing, lead generation, and sales, okay? So offer and pricing, I want you to go through these questions one more time. If you're watching this on replay, hit pause, and I want you to go through and I want you to say yes or no to each of these questions and identify where are the gaps within your offer and pricing right now. Where do you need to do some work? I then want you to pop into the comments section and let me know where are the gaps within your offer and pricing right now, okay? Now, with that said, we're going to move into the second core element that you need to master within your business in order to grow to consistent 10 or 20K cash months. And this element is really looking at organic marketing and lead generation, okay? I know that this is a massive struggle for so many people in the social media space right now, okay? Organic marketing and lead generation, this is my area of expertise, okay? This is what I teach my clients how to do. And this is how I built my business to where it is today, through organic marketing and organic lead generation. So let's take a look at the different questions that I want you to be answering yes or no to identify where the gaps are within your organic marketing and lead generation strategy, okay? So first and foremost, do you have a solid brand strategy? Branding is such an important pillar when it comes to your organic marketing strategy, okay? You need to make sure that you have a clear and strong brand in place so that 1, you can be attracting your ideal client. 2, you can be nurturing them and building a really strong community behind your brand. And 3, so then you can ultimately be converting them through your social media, okay? So having a solid brand strategy is so incredibly important. If you don't know what a brand strategy is, I like to define and think of branding as creating a feeling, Okay, so it's the feeling that we are creating behind your business. It is how we want people to feel when they consume your content. It is how people are also going to perceive you. Okay, so do you have a solid brand strategy? Yes or no? That is one of my favorite things to dive into, particularly with VIP day clients. What we usually do is we dive into a 4-hour session and we completely strip apart and construct their brand strategy and then transfer that over into creating a social media strategy around their content as well. So that is a really awesome experience to be able to do if that's something that you are wanting to work on more. Now, the next thing I want you to check yes or no to when it comes to organic marketing and lead generation. Here we go. This is scrolling a bit funny. There we go. Is the question of, do you have a social media strategy currently in place that is converting? Okay. Now, your social media strategy should be attracting leads to your page, nurturing them, and converting. When I say converting, I mean signing clients, right? Turning a follower into a client. So do you have a social media strategy currently in place that is working for you? Now, the answer to this one's going to be simple, yes or no, because it's going to be a no if your content currently isn't converting into clients. It's going to be a yes if consistently your social media content is attracting and converting clients. Keyword there is consistent. Your social media strategy should be producing consistent results for you. It shouldn't be like a random sale here, a random new follower there. It should be a consistent thing that is occurring. Now, posting content alone isn't a social media strategy, right? Just simply saying, yeah, I post content daily, like that is not a social media strategy. That's called posting on Instagram. Your social media strategy should be so deep that it actually integrates content psychology and a deep understanding of prospect awareness phases into the content that you're creating, so that one, you're attracting your ideal client in, but two, you're also moving your audience from being cold leads to piping hot, raging fans who are ready to buy. So yes or no, do you have a social media strategy currently in place that is converting when it comes to lead generation, to new clients, and is clearly structured content that is integrating, that psychological element and also that understanding of prospect awareness phases? Now, the next thing that we're going to look at underneath organic marketing and lead generation is the question of, do you have a clear strategy for selling on your stories that is converting? Okay. Too many people say to me, yeah, I've got a clear strategy for selling on my stories. And then I ask them, okay, how often is this converting for you? How many clients is this signing for you? How many calls is this getting booked for you? And the answer is 0, right? So that says that you don't have a clear strategy for selling on your stories. And a big, big, big thing that I see entrepreneurs in the coaching space, consulting, all this space do is they sit and they watch 6- and 7-figure business owners who are successfully selling on their stories. And they simply watch the stories and try to imitate them. Now, here is where the problem is in that. You can imitate what someone is doing, but if you do not understand the depth of strategy behind what they're doing, you're not going to be converting from this activity that you're doing. You're going to be guessing. You're going to be assuming what they do, and you don't understand the full depth of the ecosystem that is happening below the surface. Okay, so having a clear strategy for selling on your stories is so important. Stories are such a powerful place. That is where your warmest audience members are sitting. And so we want to make sure that we are utilizing our stories to our advantage and are really intentional about how we post on stories, when we post on stories, and what we post on stories. Okay, selling on your stories is not as simple as dropping a link and waiting for people to buy. Okay. The next element of your organic marketing and lead generation section is the question of, do you have a consistent flow of inbound leads coming to you from your content? Okay, this is going to be a big indicator of whether or not your organic marketing strategy is working for you. Now, we want to make sure that we have a consistent flow of inbound leads happening. If you don't know what inbound leads are, they are leads that are coming to you. They're people that you're not going out to. These are people that are coming into your page and finding you, okay? So do you have a clear strategy? Do you have a consistent flow of inbound leads coming to you from your content? Your content should consistently be bringing leads into your social media. That is one of the core reasons why we create content. We create content to attract new audiences into our page, right? It's called attraction marketing. And we also use our content to then nurture these people once they're in our page. So they're like two key things that your content is doing: attracting and nurturing, okay? So bringing inbound leads and then holding them and moving them forward to the point of sale, okay? So if you are struggling to see that consistent flow of inbound leads happening at the moment from your content, then that's a big indication that there's a massive gap in your organic marketing content strategy, and that is something that will need to be refined. And I just want to add as well, I have grown my entire business to 20K cash months purely through my content strategy, right? Like this organic marketing and lead generation section. I've never used paid ads to generate leads and bring people into my social media. It has always actively been done through my content. Now, the final question I want you to reflect on, yes or no, in this organic marketing and lead generation section is, are you using outbound lead generation strategies that are actually converting? Okay. So we talk about inbound leads and we also talk about outbound leads. As I said, inbound leads are leads that are coming into you. Outbound leads are leads that you are going out to, okay? So you should be doing a blend of both within your business. I've called so many people out on this recently who have purely been depending on inbound leads to come in, and then they've been frustrated when they're like, why am I not having enough conversations? Why are there not enough new followers? So and so and so on. Right? You need to be going outbound as well, and you need to be putting yourself in front of new audiences. But what we want to pay attention to is how much is this outbound activity that we're doing actually converting. And that's going to come back to the quality of the content that you are producing on your page. Because when you go outbound and find leads in that outbound direction, your content strategy is going to be the thing that determines whether they follow you or they do not follow you, right? And so this is why we want to leverage attraction marketing. This is why we want to make sure that our content is really clearly speaking to our ideal client, that our branding is on point, that we're integrating that content psychology and that prospect awareness, right, into the content we're producing. And that's because there's going to be like maximum 7 seconds. Someone's going to open up your page once they see your name pop up. They're going to have a quick little flick. And if they don't like what they see, they're not going to follow you. Okay. So if you are doing outbound lead generation at the moment and you notice that it's not converting, then I would put money on it that it's because your content strategy is not up to scratch. Okay. Same thing applies with your inbound lead generation. Like if your content strategy is not up to scratch, when your content lands on someone else's feed, if it's not speaking to them, they're not going to follow you either. So really, really important that you're paying attention as to whether or not your content is converting, first of all, into leads and then into clients. Awesome. So before we move on to the final element, what I want to take a look at is this, a little bit of a case study here. Okay, so as I mentioned, I teach my students organic marketing strategies that are going to produce leads and convert their leads as well. Now, here's an example of one of my clients who has been implementing my organic marketing strategies, and we refined her content strategy. She's been implementing these changes for 30 days. Now, this client has been running her business for 2 years before she started working with me, okay? And for those 2 years, she struggled to sign any clients, to the point that when we connected, when we started talking, she was ready to give up. She was ready to throw it all away. She knew that she was made for more, but she was ready to throw it all away because of the frustration she was feeling, because she didn't see any of the results that she wanted to see. She knew she has an impact to make. She knows she has value to share, but she didn't have any understanding of why she wasn't able to grow her leads and grow her client base. So we stripped back her socials. We identified all of the gaps within her organic marketing strategy. And within 30 days, these were the results she was able to see. Her content started to reach over 18,000 new accounts, right? From one piece of content. And this was a consistent thing. Multiple other pieces of her content started to reach over 10K views as well. She's been getting over 250 shares on her content and over 120 saves. Now, let me stress to you guys that this is not luck. This is strategy. Okay, so don't go looking at someone's content and saying, oh, they've gotten all of these views and they've gotten all of these followers just because they're lucky. No, it is not luck. It is their marketing strategy that has produced these results. Okay, so this client of mine, she was able to bring in over 30 new followers from her content strategy in this short time, right? That is 30 new followers, which is 30 new inbound leads. What would that do for you if you could have a consistent flow of 30 new inbound leads coming into your business that you can then reach out to, you can have conversations with, you can book calls with, and you can start converting into clients? And imagine doing that without any ad spend. That is the power of really refining your organic marketing strategy. So what I want you to do is go back over these questions that we reflected on together when it comes to organic marketing and lead generation. And I want you to ask yourself, yes or no to each of these questions. Where are the gaps in your organic marketing and lead generation strategy right now? Okay, so you can pause this here if you're watching the replay, or you can take a screenshot, but I want you to put in the comments section where the gaps are for you. Is it your brand strategy? Is it your content? Is it the way that you're doing inbound lead gen or outbound lead gen, right? Where are the gaps for you? Is it the way that you're selling on your stories, right? And if you can really refine your organic marketing and lead generation methods, then you can start to see massive shifts like this as well. As I said, this was after 30 days of consistent action, right, on the refinement of her social media strategy, okay? All because she's implemented the organic marketing strategies that we teach inside of the Aligned Coaching Academy, okay? This is not luck. This is strategy. You can do it too. Now, the final note I want to add on this as well before we move forward into the next section is you do not need paid ads in order to build 10 to 20K cash months in your business, okay? I have made multiple six figures in my business since starting, and I have never used paid ads in this time. I still don't use paid ads now, right? Your content strategy can get you there and even take you further when you build it out properly, okay? But you need to remember that simply posting content is not a content strategy, okay? There's so much more depth to it. Now, with that said, let's move on to the third key element in my business ecosystem that has built me to 20K cash months, okay? And this one, I'm sure you could have guessed it, we're looking at your DM and sales strategy. So let's just recap quickly. Very first of all, we looked at your offer and your pricing, right? We broke down the different elements that make a good offer, things that you need to self-assess in order to ensure that your pricing is aligned with the income goals that you want to be working towards in your business to create sustainable income growth in your business as well. Then we looked at organic marketing and lead generation, right? So really honing in on your content strategy and the way that you're using social media and the content psychology and prospect awareness, depth of understanding that comes into that as well. And now we're going to look at DMs and sales, okay? These are the three key elements, guys. As I mentioned, there's many other elements that come into play inside of your business ecosystem as well. But these are the three core elements that are going to take you from 0 to 10K and then from 10K to 20K cash months, okay? Don't need to focus on anything else up until that point. So the first question I want you to reflect on when it comes to your DM and sales strategy is, are you spending more than 10 hours per week on sales and not seeing results? okay? 10 hours a week, that's 2 hours a day if you're working Monday to Friday on your business, right? Are you spending more than 2 hours a day on DMs and sales and you're not seeing the results you want to be seeing? If you answer yes to that, then there is a big gap in your sales strategy. You can actually see results from simply only doing 1 hour per day on this activity, if you're doing this activity properly. Now, I always tell my Business Academy students and my one-to-one clients, if you want to grow your business and see notable results happening, then you want to be investing that 10 hours per week into your sales and your marketing, okay? But if you're spending more than 10 hours per week and you're not seeing any results, then there is a big gap that we need to address. So yes or no to that question. Yes or no to the next question. Do you have inbound leads reaching out to you via DM currently? So we've spoken about what inbound leads are already. These are leads that are coming into you, not you having to go after them. They're coming into you. Do you have a flow of inbound leads who are reaching out to you, who are inquiring about your services, who are wanting to connect and learn more about you? My highest paying clients that come into my business are inbound leads. The clients who are willing to spend the big bucks on one-to-one coaching with me, they always come to me, right? And that comes back to the organic lead generation and content marketing strategies we were talking about before, because I'm speaking directly to them through my content. I'm moving them up the prospect awareness scale. But if you don't have inbound leads reaching out to you in your DMs currently, then again, this indicates that there's a big gap in that previous step that we looked at. We need to refine your content strategy. We need to refine the way that you're selling on social media. The next question I want you to reflect on, yes or no, is do you have a clear DM flow that reduces the time delay to booking calls? So what I mean by this, the time delay to booking a call, what is that time delay between initiating a conversation with someone and getting a sales call scheduled with them or pitching your program? Like if you're selling in the DMs, then you don't need to worry about sales calls. But generally, I teach my clients to work with sales calls because we're working with much higher ticket products. And I think the skill of mastering sales calls is extremely important for anyone, right? Even if you are wanting to just sell in the DMs. So it's really important to have a clear flow. A lot of the time, what I've recognized with my clients when they first come to me is they're kind of winging it in the DMs. They don't really have a clear structure. There's not really a clear flow that they're following. And here's why that's a problem. We need to have a DM flow in place, like a clear structure or framework that we're following so that we know that we are moving our prospects through each of the phases we need to move them through. Right? We want to make sure that we're moving them through a flow that is going to trigger the psychology of sales, right? Like that's going to trigger them to actually recognize that, hey, like I do need to really be considering the importance of investing in myself and my business right now. And we also want to make sure that our DM flow is qualifying, right? Is qualifying the people that we're having conversations with. And what you'll find as well when you're working with a little bit colder audience members, maybe you're doing a lot of cold outreach, having a flow that's also really going to nurture and build rapport and build relationship with these people is also very important. Now, having a DM flow is so crucial for the streamlining of your process to actually reach that end outcome of either a booked call or a DM sale. So do you have a clear DM flow right now that reduces the time delay to booking a call? Yes or no? And the next question is, are you booking minimum 4 sales calls per week consistently? Minimum 4 sales calls per week. If you want to be building your business to 10, 20K cash months, you need to have at least 4 sales calls happening weekly, right? And then you also still need to make sure that your close ratio is high so that from those 12 calls you're booking in a month, you're converting enough of them into sales, okay? If you are not currently consistently booking minimum 4 sales calls per week, then we need to work on your content strategy and we need to work on your DM strategy. Okay, no ifs or buts. And finally, the last question to reflect on when it comes to DMs and sales. If you're having 4 sales calls per week, are you closing minimum 1 out of 4 of those sales weekly? When we're looking at sales close ratios, we really want to have like a 20% minimum close rate. Okay, minimum. We want to be closing 20% of the sales calls that we're having. If you're closing less than 20%, then there is a massive gap in your sales strategy. Okay, so if you're having those 4 sales calls per week, we want to make sure that you are closing minimum 1 out of 4 weekly, because what this is going to do is ensure that we're having that consistent and sustainable income growth within our business. Okay, so your DM and sales strategy, this is that third core element of your business ecosystem that you really need to be focusing on if you're wanting to go from 0 to 10K or 10K to 20K cash months in your business. Okay, now let's take a look at a couple more little case studies when it comes to sales and DM flows. Now, this first one over here, I really want to point out because this is a massive win for one of my clients inside of the Business Academy. This is the same client I was speaking about before who went 2 years without seeing any growth within her business. Within 30 days of her joining the academy and us refining these 3 core elements inside her ecosystem, we refined her offer and pricing, we refined her lead generation and organic marketing strategy, and we refined her DM and sales skills. She was able to sign not 1, not 2, but 3 paying clients, the third being her highest ticket client, a $6,000 US client. How insane is that? Within 30 days, after going 2 years without seeing any growth whatsoever, to within 30 days, completely transforming the structure of her approach to business, which ultimately transformed the results she was able to see in high ticket paying clients. Okay, absolutely incredible. Now, another element to think about within your sales strategy is how you're converting free clients to paying clients. If you're very new and you've been working with free clients recently, how are you converting them to paying clients? And also, how are you delivering your services so that referrals are happening? This client here, she converted her free client into a paying client, who then turned into someone who referred her to another person who then signed and turned into another paying client. Okay, so again, this comes back down to your sales strategy. This is a core element of that again. And finally, this client over here, I wanted to highlight that this client was able to book 3 sales calls within 1 week because of her DM strategy. Prior to that, she was struggling to book any discovery calls. The conversations she was having in the DMs were either unaligned or falling off before it got to the point of pitch. So what we did was we dove deep into deconstructing the approach she was currently following to her DM flow, to her DM strategy. We identified where the gaps were. We bridged these gaps. And within 1 week of doing so, she was able to go from booking 0 to 3 sales calls for that week. How insane is that? And again, I share these examples with you guys because I want to show you that when you go through and you reflect on each of these questions and identify where the gaps are, you're then able to identify what the solution is that you need in order to bridge that gap and get the results, get the clients, get the cash flow moving through your business that you desire to see. Okay. Awesome. So let's take a look at this quickly as we move to the end of this training. What I want you to do is go back through this training that we've done today. And I want you to, again, answer yes or no to all of the questions that I've asked you today. If you answered yes, you put a tick. Yep, I'm doing that. I've nailed that, right? You put a tick next to every single one of the questions, then congratulations. You should, without a doubt, be making 10K months in your business or be very well on your way to doing so. But if you answer no to some or all of those questions, then there's some work we need to do. So congratulations to you on developing the awareness of where you actually need support within your business. Okay. So I hope this has been a very self-reflective session for you and identified where the gaps are in your current strategy within your current ecosystem, so we can start to refine that. And what I do want to add is this might be a little bit overwhelming, like actually sitting down and recognizing where all your current gaps are and like what you actually need to be working on. But please know, developing this awareness is actually the very key to moving forward in your business and to reaching those 10K or 20K cash months. And each no that you've responded to, this is now an area of development for you to focus on in order to build a strong foundation for your business to reach those consistent 10 and 20K cash months. Okay. So make sure you go back through this training, pause on each of the slides, deep dive into each of the questions, and let me know in the comments section, out of the 3 core elements that we've looked at today. So we looked at your offer and pricing, we looked at your lead generation and organic marketing strategy, and we looked at your sales and DM strategy. Are those 3 core areas, which ones do you need to hone in on your strategy the most right now? Is it 1, is it 2, or is it all 3? Okay. Let me know in the comments of this training, because what I will then do is paying attention to where your gaps are now. I'll provide more trainings that are going to help you really bridge that gap that you've identified within your business. Now, if you're ready for support in refining your strategies and approaches to each of these areas of development, then what I want to do before we wrap up this training today is actually invite you to apply now for the Aligned Coaching Academy. Okay, so these case studies we've gone through today are all of students' transformations who have been created within 30 days of being a part of the Aligned Coaching Academy. So if you're unaware of what the Aligned Coaching Academy is, this is my all-inclusive program for new or existing entrepreneurs who are wanting to go from 0 to 10K or 10K to 20K cash months in their business. And what we do inside of the Academy is we help build impactful and profitable coaching businesses through the alignment of intention, action, and strategy. So the 3 pillars that we went through today, these 3 core pillars of your business ecosystem, this is actually a part of the 6-figure coaching framework that we teach inside of the Academy. Now, the 6-figure framework that we explore inside of the Academy is so much deeper than just these 3 core elements as well. This gives you a nice little overview of all of the areas that we cover inside of the curriculum inside of the Academy. So we go from everything in terms of vision, your big picture thinking, your goal setting, reverse engineering, and strategic planning, all the way through that to the actual gears that are going to move your business forward. So we take a look at your social strategy. We dive deep into brand design, profile optimization, attraction marketing, and lead generation and optimization, leveraging both inbound and outbound leads. Okay. So all these core elements we've spoken about in today's training. We also take a look into creating and refining your irresistible offer. So what this includes is building out your value ladder, identifying and getting crystal clear on who that ideal client is. We really dive deep into the creation and the delivery of your irresistible offer, and also creating that pricing structure that is going to support sustainable business growth. Okay. We also deep dive into your sales systems. So really looking at prospecting, right? How to prospect, how to generate those inbound, outbound leads, how to actually work with high ticket sales, understanding the psychology behind high ticket sales, how to process payments, and how to manage clients. Okay. All key elements of the sales system that we look into. And of course, you can have the best business strategy in the world, but if you do not have a strategy to support your mindset with this as well, you're always going to struggle to see results, which is why mindset is such a core element inside of the Academy as well, where we deep dive into shifting your paradigms, determining your ego versus soul success, exploring emotional intelligence, and creating alignment on that mind, body, and soul level. Okay, alignment in business is so important, which is why the Academy is built around that concept. So this gives you a clearer overview of 5 of the core elements inside of my 6-figure ecosystem. Today, we dove into 3 of these core elements. We had a look at your irresistible offer creation, your social strategy, and your sales system. You did that self-reflection, you did that self-check, so you should be aware now where your gaps are. If you're wanting support in bridging those gaps, then I really do encourage you to apply now for the Aligned Coaching Academy, because this is the program that is going to help you and support you in getting your business to that six-figure mark and creating those consistent 10 to 20K cash months that I know you all desire to be working towards, okay? So if you are interested to book a consultation call with me, you can scan the QR code that is on the screen right now, and that will take you directly to my Work With Me form. What I'll get you to do is fill out that Work With Me form, and at the end of filling out that form, there will be a, I should move this up more in case the captions are stopping you from scanning it. But at the end of that Work With Me form, there will be a section for you to actually schedule in a appointment. Okay, so what you can do is schedule in a discovery call. I will be running that discovery call, so we'll be able to connect personally. And basically we'll just dive in, have a chat, see properly where your business is at right now, where you want it to be, and identify whether or not the academy is going to be an aligned fit to support you in building that impact and that income that you desire. Okay, so with that said, everybody, thank you so much for watching this training. I hope that you have found it extremely valuable. I have loved diving deep into these concepts that we have explored today. I have loved sharing these insights into the 3 key components of my business ecosystem that have built me to 10 and 20K cash months. This resource is here for you. There's also a ton of other free trainings available for you over on my YouTube and inside of this community as well. So if you do want to go jump onto the Empower with M YouTube, you can access all other trainings there as well. Now, with that said, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching this training. I appreciate your time, your presence, and your energy, and I hope that I've been able to serve you in some way, shape, or form in the expansion of your business. So I will talk to you guys again very, very soon.